I just realized I was muted. Okay, great. Caught that in the beginning. Hello, guys. Have to run in a second, but wanted to get on real quickly and share. This is more of a testimony. I put morning energy reading, and I guess I will pull a few cards. But I wanted to get on this morning and share a testimony that I got um, from a client, an old client, one of my clients from back in the day when I first started. And I felt like this was so divine to share because I actually got the email from her as I was getting out of my meditation this morning. Um, and I get a lot of, I don't get too much anymore, but I used to get a lot, like almost every single day. I guess because I don't do personal readings that much anymore. I'm just starting to do personal readings again. But this popped up and I wanted to share it with you guys. I don't know if you guys watched the what do we call it here? The weekly energy reading. The weekly energy reading. You guys I told you guys I'm getting back to everybody slowly but surely, trying to take care of myself because of my vitamin D levels are kind of low, which is what I'm about to go to the store for and go get. Anyways, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. So that's what I'll be doing really today. That's why I wanted to get the weekly out early enough this morning. There will be a reading this evening after I finish recording and editing the Goddess of Hope podcast. And then there will be also, I'm so happy that you guys liked that message last night because that is something that I have been doing to help myself get through this chaotic period that I'm in. Just writing a lot. And so I wanted to start sharing it because I'm having all of the same feelings that you are. I remember when I first got a reading on myself years ago when I first started this channel. Beautiful Sally Ann, who's a voodoo priestess here in New Orleans. She's very great. She told me, she was like, a lot of what I will be speaking about on the channel will be things that I go through first. And then I help you guys go through the same thing. So it's almost, we're always mirroring each other. If you found me, it's because we are mirroring each other in some way. We are a reflection and I'm helping you get through things that I've gotten through. So I want to start with this because this is an intention that I got on here for, was to read this testimony. And she responded back and said, she definitely would like me to share it because it may help someone else. Okay. So here it is. Alexa, turn it down. Says, good morning, Chelsea. And I'm leaving her anonymous. And let me just say this, preface this as I'm reading this. I would like for you guys, if you can, to either literally stretch your arm out and send this person love and healing light and energy, or just do it from your heart that you're sending this person love and healing energy, okay? Because she needs it. And I think she's already in the right direction, but just do that for me. It says, good morning, Chelsea. It's been on my heart to reach out to you. It's been years since I got a reading from you. The backstory, I got a reading from you about who should I choose at the time. And you told me the Aquarius was no good for me. You also told me a tower moment was coming. Didn't quite understand what that meant. Fast forward to June 2023, I found out he was cheating again after taking him back. I tried to end things with him. He took my car keys and let me in the house with my kid, locked me in the house with my kids and his kids. I was taking care of his kids too, with the youngest one having severe medical problems. I called my friends, asked her to watch the kids. And the first place I went to was his mom's house, and he was there with a female. Me and the female got into it. She pulled a knife out on me. I somehow got the knife from her, and she ended up cut. She pressed charges, and I went to jail. I was in there for a year. Whole time while I'm in there, he's at my house with his kids and bringing female to my house like it was his. When I got out, I tried to work it out with him again, and this time he put his hands on me, and I can't really say that on YouTube, but he hurt her, and he hurt her bad. So he knocked 3 of her teeth out and messed up her face really bad. She says, I called the cops to press charges on him and got him out of my house. He told me he's never leaving my house and for me to get ready to go back to jail. When the cops got there, he told the cops that I ripped his youngest daughter's feeding tube out of her stomach, and then he hit me to get me off of his daughters. That's the reason why he hit her. I was still on probation from the previous case, and they took me right in on my birthday. Because of me violating my probation, I had to serve a year and a half. I got out in January 2024. When I got out, I decided I was done trying with him. I made up a plan that I was going to leave. I didn't tell anybody except my older sister about it. And I didn't act any different. I saved up my money for 6 months, and I worked on looking for somewhere to live. My older sister helped me because the house was in my name and the landlord was cool with my sister's husband. The landlord never informed him of what was going on. I was able to get out of the lease and move to a new apartment the day that it came time for me to leave. He went ballistic. He destroyed my TVs, my furniture, my bedroom set. He told me if I was leaving with nothing. So I took what I could and I moved to the apartment. I went and filed a restraining order against him. Once I got the restraining order and I knew that I had some protection from him, then I was able to focus on getting my children back. As of July 9th, 2025, I was able to get custody of my last child out of 5, and I was able to get a new apartment, a job, a car, and all 5 of my children back. You were one of the first readers I saw when I first became interested in tarot cards. And when I first came to you for a reading, it was the first time I ever had one, didn't know what to expect, didn't know how to really take the information that was given to me. And I want to say today in 2025, I wish I knew now what I knew then, because I would have ran the moment I got the reading from you. Things are much better now. But the fact that 2 years of my life was spent in prison, which gave me a record that I never had before, which made me had to leave the line of work I was in because I was a CNA for 17 years to start fresh in a new line of work that wouldn't judge my background and allow me to work and to prove my work ethics. I just want to say thank you for the eye opener. It took me some time to see it. I had you and my family while my sister telling me to leave. But unfortunately, when you're in the situation, you don't see it from that point of view of somebody seeing it from the outside. And I just wish I would have listened then. But life's so much better now. But life is so much better now, and I'm no longer doing drugs like I used to. I can't say that on YouTube. I'm no longer partying like I used to. I'm no longer getting abused in front of my children. I'm no longer being belittled by a man who was nothing compared to me. I'm no longer struggling to take care of another man's children and being accused of being the reason why the mother wants nothing to do with them. I went through a lot, and that for your relationship. I thought that bringing and uplifting your man was the right thing to do. But unfortunately, that's not something you can do to a man who does not lift himself or see value in himself again. I just wanted to share the story with you. I know you get a lot of reads and you've been doing this for some time and you probably don't remember me, but the readings that I've listened to during the time prior to me being locked up, those readings are what gave me hope while being in there. All of the readings of me going to be better, be a better person, a better parent, better in society. They all gave me the strength to fight to finish. And I finally have made it to the finish line. Not finished yet, but I'm almost to the finish line. Thank you, Chelsea. And I asked her and I wrote back to her. And gave me a little bit emotional just reading it again, because I told her that, I was in a similar situation. I was definitely in a domestic violence situation before. But it's not really about me. Obviously, I connected to a lot of DV victims because, like I said, I've been through that before. I've connected to a lot of people who have financial issues because I've been through that before. And it's not so much as that. I just wanted to kind of show that testimony as I've gotten. Actually, it's funny because I always said I had 2 people out of all the people I've ever done readings for. I had 2 people who were not receptive. I can't remember if she was one of them, but was not receptive to what I had to say. And out of one of those 2 people, I got a letter or email a year or so later, and she was like, "Chelsea, everything that you said happened, da 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 da." And it's not so much as about being right, because you have to remember when I do readings, what I am reading is a reflection of your energy. So if I can tap into your energy and tell you what I see, that means that you first felt it, okay? You first felt it. But for whatever reason, you may have blocked it out or didn't receive it, or you were in denial of it, okay? This is why when a lot of times when I give people readings, almost 100% of the time I will hear, That's what I thought. This was confirmation. This was confirmation. Why is that? Because that's what tarot is. Tarot is reading the energy that is already present. This is not something that I'm accessing that you can't. You have, this is your energy that I'm reading. Do you understand? That's what I'm doing, is reading your energy. So I'm able to see different avenues or predictions that can come up because the energy is already there. Now, if you take the reading and you say, well, I don't want this outcome to happen, then you have the power, free will, to change your actions, your thoughts, your words in that moment, and you can change the energy and then therefore change the outcome of what is going to happen, right? This is why sometimes when people say, well, you said money was coming to me and it didn't come. Well, a lot of times what happens is people do this with love too, is that they get this thing that something that they want is going to happen. All right. And they obsess and they obsess and they obsess and obsess and they fixate on it. And sometimes what that does is hold it away or pushes it away, because anxious energy about something coming and the fact that you really want it bad, it reminds yourself, your higher self, that you don't have it. So that is what you are constantly perpetuating. But something like this, where it's the situation that you're in is producing a bad outcome, there's a tower moment coming and you don't listen. Even for her, I told her that, she probably had to go through what she went through because she had to learn that loving someone else more than yourself is always going to end bad. There is never a time where loving someone else more than you love yourself is going to end harmoniously. Okay. It's just not, because when you love yourself as deeply as you can, then you have all the love in the world to give someone else. But if you put them first, it's not going to end well. You understand? You were created in the image of God and his likeness and everything. So you are perfect just the way you are. But when you say, I need to love you more, because if I love you more than you love me, and then that gives me validation about myself, then that's the wrong way to do it. That's the wrong way to go about it. I sent her all the love and light. I had to go through the same situation. I had to learn self-love through abuse, unfortunately. I had to learn self-love through toxic relationships, connections, betrayals, backstabbing. I had to learn it. But thank God I learned it. I'm on the other side of it. And I say this to say as well is that, and I always tell people in readings that I'm like a spiritual investigator. When you come to me, I'm not telling you what to do unless it's something very dangerous where I'm seeing, and I've only had a handful of readings like that. Pugsley and Bruno, get out of my room. Okay, we're back. Yeah, it froze. No, it froze. I don't know what was going on. Now I don't remember the last thing I said. Somebody said, what a terrible situation that poor woman went through. Prayers and strength sent. Yes. I would probably bet, though, that her life is probably going to be something amazing. A lot of times when people's stories start out like that, because I have had, let me tell you, I'll sit down and talk with you guys in some of the DV situations that I've had and everything else, that a lot of times when people go through those type of tough situations, especially Aries people. And I say Aries because usually they assume the role of a leader in some way, that she'll probably be, and I might be prophesizing, but she'll probably be speaking to someone. She'll probably be speaking to groups. She'll probably be speaking to young mothers going through her situation that she went through. And if you see in her situation, she's getting everything back. And I promise you, she's probably going to get everything back tenfold. I'll probably hear from her in about 5 years and tell me that her life is amazing. That situation wasn't to break her so she'll have nothing. That situation was to break her, to mold her into something. You understand? Because the same way she ended that in saying that she just got all her children back. She got a better job. She's finding herself. She's no longer that person who allowed that to happen to her. And just that is golden. Okay? Because if it would have taken more years for her to understand that, it would have been another relationship like that, and another relationship like that, and another relationship. Some women spend years in relationships like that, So You know, I feel like when we're in it and we hear those type of things and we say, oh, that's so terrible, that's so bad. But just looking at my situation, you know, I was on a freaking in a homeless shelter when I had to go to a battered women's shelter with my son, and they didn't have any room. I just told my cousin the story. They didn't have any room at the women's shelter that I had to go to, and I had to spend the night in a shelter in New Orleans. It was just for one night. But the shit, I was literally on one of those cots that they pull out for kids who take naps in kindergarten. That's all I had. And my son was in my arm like this. And the stuff that I heard going around me while I was trying to go to sleep felt like I was in the pits of hell, you know, and then now here I am. So it could go either way, and you could go up and you can go right back down again. You know, it's just all about whether or not you are learning the lessons like that God's throwing at you, the universe, whatever you want to call it. What are you integrating these lessons? But it's always, you have something, you have a higher purpose, you have something here to share with someone. And I thought that was very profound. And I also wanted to share it for the people who may be like her. And I have read your energy, and a reflection of your energy may have said, hey, you probably need to start packing it up and leaving while you're kind of dilly-dallying in a bad situation. And let me tell you, I've been there. So I'm not saying this in a condescending way, right? Because if somebody would have told me to walk away from that before you know what I'm saying, I would have too. But maybe, just maybe, listening to somebody else's situation that happens when you stay too long, maybe that just may encourage someone today who's listening. Okay. It may not always end up in a DV situation, but sometimes the Ten of Swords can present itself in a way that your whole mental health comes crumbling down because you're attached to the wrong person or the wrong lover or the wrong friend group or the wrong job, you know? So don't stay in places too long where you're not feeling the love from yourself, the love around you. It was because, if I said we had that we do what we have to do in survival. We do what we have to do in survival mode. We absolutely do. And I like literally, that's a moment that's etched into my life, will probably be forever, because I had a baby in my arms while I was on that cot. And I just said, God, please get me out of this. If you get me out of this situation, I will never go back. Never go back. Let me see here. Take a look here. This is for Aries. This is for Aries today. Yeah, first card, Nine of Swords. The King of Swords. And we got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Let's clarify this real quick. Ooh, okay. Look at this. So the Nine of Swords energy is an energy of feeling stressed out, worried, anxious, sleepless nights, maybe even nightmares or dreams. I had a crazy dream last night that was it was crazy. Nine of Swords energy, trying to figure something out that you can't quite, and feeling taunted, haunted, or having very, very strong thoughts, right? Could be negative, could be depression, could be something that you can't get out of. The King of Swords, though, here, this almost feels like an ancestor energy. Call on them, right? That might be something for you. But the King of Swords here says that your mind is stronger than you think. Your mind is stronger than you think. And if you ask for help and assistance, it will come. It will come like a knife, like sharp clarity. And you'll get the answer to the problem, whatever it is that's permeating in your mind. You will get the answer that you need, possibly today. King of Swords energy. And it may come with a turnaround of events. The Seven of Pentacles is in reverse. This means that there may be something that you have been investing in that you don't need to anymore. It might be a lost cause. You may be going in the wrong direction, or you may be going about something the wrong way. Seven of Pentacles in reverse, okay? It's like you've been investing something and you're not going to see your return in the thing that you thought you would, but it might be something else, because I got the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles could be feeling like loss, lack, depletion. It could be ghosted. It could be feeling left out in the cold, but it also could be needing to stop something cold turkey. Like there doesn't need to be an explanation. There doesn't need to be anything. You just need to cut something out right in its tracks. Okay. Five of Pentacles energy. And then you got the 10 of Cups, which is a beautiful happily ever after. So it feels like somebody may have a problem or a situation that is on their mind that is plaguing them very heavily. And you might need to just sit for a while in silence, asking, praying, meditating, whatever it is, and the answer comes, and it puts you in a sharp pivot, a redirection, really. And maybe something that you weren't expecting, maybe something that you weren't even wanting. But when this redirection happens, you'll be grateful for it. Look at this 10 of Cups, because it'll lead you to your happily ever after, whatever that may be for you. It could be a wish fulfillment. It could be money. It could be finances. It could be a love. It could be family healing. But there's something here that, I mean, I'm going to say this. If you're stressing and worrying about something to the max, you're already going about it the wrong way. Try to calm your nervous system so the answer can come through. This is why I've had to sit for the last few days myself, because it's like, okay, I'm not going to let myself stress too much, not with this car situation. But the answers really do, I can attest to that. The answers will come through when you finally find yourself in a calm state. I'm not saying happy. I'm not saying positive. I'm not saying jumping for joy. I'm just saying when you can find a way to calm yourself down, usually the answers come through like a lightning bolt. Okay. And the what you need to do, and I feel like where a lot of Aries get stuck is that the answer will come through for you and you doubt it and you second guess it and you delay it when you might need to just act on it, right? Like this 5 of Pentacles could be saying something needs to go immediately. Act on it quickly so you can reach this 10 of Cups. All right, so that's what I have for you guys. I have to run to the store. I never did the money candle spell the other day because I didn't have any cinnamon, and that's one of the ingredients because it's a fast money spell. So I'm on my way to the store to go get that right now, and that will be done today. All right, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.